Hi guys, Jason here from Jay's Complete Auto Detailing, and I thought today I'd go over a few steps on how to properly maintain and wash your vehicle. It's a common question I get from a lot of my customers after they pick their car up, whether we ceramic coated it or we did a paint correction and put a coat of sealant on it. One of the main questions I get is, Jay, what do I do now? How do I wash my car? What should I do to maintain this great shine that you just got back on my car? So I'm going to go through a couple steps here, show you some of the products that we use in the shop, and hopefully this will help you from marring or scratching your paint as you wash it at home. All right, guys, so step one, we'll go over what I have here is called a 2-bucket method, and very important process when you are washing your vehicle. One bucket I have filled up with our soapy water, and the other is just plain clean water. And down the bottom of each one of those buckets is a grit guard. And the purpose of the grit guard is to prevent you, when you're going back into either one of the 2 buckets, prevent you from getting any of the dirt, sand, or any debris from your vehicle back onto your wash mitt, which then you're going to be grinding into your paint. And that's what's going to cause your very small swirl marks that you would see, especially when the car is clean and the sun is shining on at that perfect angle. So this will prevent any of that from happening. So that slides into the bottom of the bucket. And our 2-bucket method, basically, we're going to wash a panel and rinse it in the clean water, wring it out, and then you're back into your sudsy water to move on to the next panel. I like to break the vehicles down to sections as I work through so that I'm continually rinsing the wash mitt and then getting new soap on it. We like to start from the top of the vehicle and work our way down because, as you know, the bottom of the vehicle is going to be the dirtiest from the tires kicking anything up from the road onto your vehicle. All right, so to begin washing the vehicle, we're going to start with rinsing the entire car off with a pressure washer. We use an electric pressure washer here in the shop. If you have a gas-powered, electric-powered at home, that's fine. Just make sure you don't get too close to the paint. Some of them have a higher PSI. You'll wind up knocking some of the paint off, and you definitely don't want to do that. Or if you just have a hose, you could use that. Your main goal here is to just knock off as much dust and dirt that's kind of caked onto the vehicle before you actually do start the washing process. All right, so for the next step after rinsing the entire vehicle, we like to use a foam cannon. What we have in here is some high foaming car wash soap. We will cover the entire car, let it lather for a little bit, and what that's going to do is lubricate the surface when we do start washing to help lift off some of that dirt. So again, that we're not grinding it into the clear coat of our vehicle. All right, so we got a good layer of foam on the truck now. We're going to continue with our washing. We'll start at the top. We'll work our way down, rinsing in between each panel as we move along here. So we'll start up top. And when I am washing, very light with the wash mitt. I don't need to use a lot of pressure here. Number one, this truck's not really that dirty. And number two is, if there is a lot of dirt on it, you don't want to be forcing that dirt and that debris and dust into your paint. So I kind of just lightly let the wash mitt glide over my paint. Come back in and get some more soap. The other thing I like to do is kind of a hashtag pattern. And what that does ensures that I clean every spot on this vehicle. If you start doing swirls, circular motions, you're going to wind up missing a lot of spots. And when you do dry it at the end, you're going to see all those areas that still have the dirt still stuck to the paint. On the side panels, we'll start at the top, work our way down, making sure we get everything cleaned up here. Again, your bottom parts are going to be where the majority of that road grime gets kicked up. A lot of times we see a lot of tar get kicked up there. Some road paint, unfortunately. They are 2 of the most common things that we see on the side of vehicles. We're going to move on to the wheels. So a couple of tools that I have here and some of the brushes I'll go over with you. We have a foamer with our wheel cleaner in it. we have what's called a wheel woolly. So this will get into the barrels of the wheel, get all that brake dust and debris that's in there. They come in a lot of different sizes. So we have our larger one here, and then this smaller one, which you're able to reach around the calipers and actually clean the calipers as well. I have a soft bristle brush, which would be used on the face of the wheels. We have this blue brush here, which is used on the tires, and a wheel well brush. So you'll get up in there. A lot of dirt gets kicked up in there, especially in the wintertime. Pretty dirty. So let me show you the process here. So we'll cover the whole wheel with some of the foam. And I like to start with the wheel wells. So a lot of the newer vehicles have the carpeted wheel wells inside. So basically all you would be doing there is just rinsing, and you would be rinsing for a while because they like to hold a lot of dirt and mud. Move on to the barrels of the wheel. So this is able to fit in between the spokes. I like to go different angles just to make sure I cover the entire inside of the wheel. Now on this particular wheel, I'm able to get in to majority of the spots except for right here where the caliper is. So I would grab the smaller wheel woolly. This will help me reach inside there and also clean off the caliper itself. And we'll move on to the face of the wheel. Again, I'm going very lightly. These wheels aren't that dirty. A lot of vehicles that come in that aren't maintained wind up getting a lot of brake dust on them. And what happens is, if they're not cleaned very often, that brake dust just gets baked onto the wheels. Under braking, the wheels are going to heat up, and that brake dust is just going to kind of sit in there and eat into the wheel itself. So it's pretty important that not only you're cleaning the entire outside of your car, but the wheels as well, and getting that brake dust off of there. All right, and then the last one is sidewalls. So we'll give those a good scrub, and then we'll be ready to rinse. All right, so we washed the entire vehicle. All the paint's been washed. The wheels and tires have been cleaned. Last thing to do here is rinse everything off. Again, we'll start from the top to the bottom when we rinse. One thing is, if you have a garage, you're able to clean your vehicle inside. That's perfect. You could actually do the whole thing like I just did here. If you are outside doing it, one recommendation I would say is to, if you're doing it in the middle of the day, kind of work one panel at a time, rinsing each one as you go. Or just wait until later in the day when the sun's very low, your last hour or two of the day. That way you can wash more of it and not have to work as quick and be rushed when you are cleaning. You just don't want that soap to be drying on the vehicle when you are washing it. All right, so now we're ready to dry the truck. A couple different options you have here. I always tell my customers, hey, use a leaf blower. If you have an electric leaf blower, some people use the backpack leaf blower. I always like to say the less you touch the paint, the better. So I usually use my electric leaf blower, start top to bottom, dry the entire car off. If you have compressed air, if you have an air compressor, you could use these little tools. The nice thing is it's getting all the water out of all the cracks and crevices so that when you think you have everything dried and you head on down the road, you make your next stop, you get out and you see these water streaks all over the place. So very good tools to use. If you don't have them, it's not a huge deal. One other thing I recommend using is a nice large drying towel. So basically with this towel, basically just get it over the top and just drag it off of paint right along the side, and I'm pulling all that water right off with just one step. And again, you want to start at the top, work your way down to the bottom. I'd recommend washing these after every use so that when they're sitting and they get dust all over them, you're not using that to dry your vehicle then. So just go right down the side and dry everything off. This makes work very quick, especially if you're working outside. You need to get it dried up so you don't get any water spots. This is the way to go. And then after I do have the entire vehicle dried off, I will use Bead Maker, which is a paint protectant. It's a sealant. I'll grab a clean microfiber towel and work my way around the vehicle. This also acts as a drying aid, so any small amount of water that's still on the surface, it'll help dry that up pretty quick. And it adds a layer of protection as you're doing it. So this is safe to use on all surfaces on the exterior, windows, your wheels, chrome, aluminum, basically the entire exterior. And like I said, you're adding some protection to it as well. Main goal here is you want to get it as dry as possible so you don't wind up with all those ugly water spots, which could actually, if you have a lot of minerals in your water, if you have hard water at your house, calcium deposits can build up on your paint. They're out in the sun. That sun's going to bake it in there and it's going to wind up etching into your paint, and you'll see permanent spots in your clear coat. And really the only way to get those out is a compound or a wet sand and buff. All right, so that's the entire process of safely and correctly washing your vehicle. Now, if you do happen to have any questions along the way, or if you're interested in any of the products that we used, please feel free to message the page, give us a call, stop by the shop. We'll gladly set you up, either order you some or send you off in the right direction so that you are using the correct products and maintaining that shine on your vehicle. Thanks for watching, guys.